This lesson is on the circumference and area of circles. The perimeter of a circle is called the circumference. The circumference of a circle is the length of its outline. Circumference is a distance measurement. For example, inches, feet, yards, miles, meters. The units are to the first power. Circumference is one-dimensional. The equation for circumference is C equals pi times d, or C equals pi times 2 times r. C is circumference, d is the diameter of the circle, r is the radius of the circle. Pi is not a variable. It is a constant. It is a number that does not change. It is an actual number. It's not a whole number. It is 3.14 approximately. The decimal part goes on forever. The only difference in these two equations is d and 2r. 2 times the radius is the same as the diameter. So you can use either equation. If you know the diameter or the radius of a circle, you can find the circumference. The relationship between the circumference and the diameter of a circle is pi. C divided by d equals 3.14. So the longest distance, the circumference, goes in the numerator, and the shortest distance, the distance across a circle through the center, the diameter, is the shortest distance. It goes in the denominator. We have a bigger number on top and a smaller number on the bottom. That's how we get a 3 point something. If there was a smaller number in the numerator and a larger number in the denominator, we'd have 0 point some decimal. So we need the larger number in the numerator, and that's the circumference. Every circle, a little circle or a gigantic circle, it doesn't matter what circle. If you take the circumference of that circle and divide it by the diameter, that will equal 3.14. Whenever you're dealing with something circular or cylindrical, you must be using pi. The area of a circle is the space inside the outline. And the formula is area equals pi times radius squared. Area is two-dimensional. For example, inches squared, feet squared, yards squared, miles squared, meters squared. Let's try some examples. In this first circle, we have a radius of 2. So I'm going to use this equation to find the circumference. Pi times 2 times radius, which is 2. So circumference equals pi times 4. Pi is approximately 3.14. So 3.14 times 4 is approximately 12.57. So the circumference is approximately 12.57 units, whatever they are, inches, feet, yards, miles, meters. Now the area of that same circle, the space inside, uses this equation. Pi times radius, the radius is 2, squared. 2 squared is 4. So the area is pi times 4. 3.14 times 4 is approximately 12.57. That's the exact same number we got for the circumference. So the distance around is 12.57, let's say, inches. And the area inside is 12.57, but that would be inches squared because area is two-dimensional. Let's look at the second example. We have a line going from one side of the circle to the other through the center, so that represents the diameter. The diameter is 3, so I'm going to use this equation. C equals pi times the diameter, which is 3. 3.14 times 3 is approximately 9.42, whatever the units are. The area of that same circle, the space inside the circle, not the distance around. Circumference is the distance around. Area is the space inside. This is the equation for area. So area equals pi times radius squared. Well, the diameter is 3, so the radius is half of that. Half of 3 is 1.5. So I am going to square 1.5. That is 2.25. So I have area equals pi times 2.25, which is approximately 7.07, whatever the units are, squared. Inches squared, feet squared, yards squared, miles squared, meters squared. Because when you square the radius, you're squaring the units as well. Let's look at the last example. The radius is 1. I'm going to use this equation. C equals pi times 2 times the radius, which is 1. 2 times 1 is 2. So circumference equals pi times 2. So the circumference is approximately 3.14 times 2, which is 6.28, whatever the units are to the first power. Inches, feet, yards, miles, meters. We just calculated the length of the outline. Now we want to know about the space inside the outline. The area. This is the formula. Area equals pi times radius, which is 1, squared. 1 squared is 1. So area equals pi times 1. So area equals pi. The space in here is pi, whatever the units are, squared. Pi inches squared, pi feet squared. Or more specifically, approximately 3.14, whatever the units are, squared. So when the radius is 1 unit, the area is pi. The relationship between the circumference and the diameter is pi. And when the radius is 1, then the area is also pi. This often confuses people. I hope this lesson was helpful. Please leave a comment. Your comments help me improve the quality of these videos. Have a great day. No more math blues.